Wasn't that nice?
Oh,
That's
that's
very
nice.
good.
What was that? Mumford and Sons?
No, it was October Stand.
Oh,
Very similar.
It's not that bad.
I like it. Oh.
Welcome to the Hat
Mumford
Chat
and Sons would have,
podcast, episode
sorry.
36. And before we get into it, I'm Chris Trott.
I'm Ross Hornby.
And
That's
I'm
the day.
Mumford and Sons.
Not true.
Al Smithy, Alex Smith, Alan Smith.
So what comment were you going to make
Anyway,
about that?
I was just going to say I like that a lot, and I wonder how much of that was live recording and whether it was it all MIDI. I'm not sure I can even tell anymore.
I have.
It can
Good
be.
news
It
for
can
you.
be these days. You can have full
Because
Yeah.
in the email they sent, October Stand said
Yep.
they hadn't played violin in a while. So it was good to get back into that.
Wow,
Nice.
that's very
even
good.
more impressive.
Very nice.
It's hard to
I
get
think
a
I'm around.
really
Yeah, no, that's
authentic
really great.
I have an
synthetic
erection.
violin.
Full blown.
Wow.
And then we had some
I know.
like rolling banjo in there as well, although
Yeah.
it might have been one of those not real banjos because, you know how you can get those banjos that aren't real banjos. Do you know what I mean? Like guitars that are like almost set up like banjos, and
Right.
they use banjo sounds and stuff, but they don't have that little string on the top for
Mm.
claw hammering.
Oh.
You know,
I think I've got one-
a
I've got
claw
one of
hammer
those. I've got one
banjo
of those.
style.
A banjo string. I got one.
Well, you know, like the banjo string along the top. If you snap it, it's a real bitch to get
Yeah,
back
the-
together. How do you,
Yeah.
like,
It's expensive.
Bit,
But
a
yeah,
bit hot glue.
no,
a bit
sounds
hot glue.
great.
You'll be fine.
Yeah.
oh, really hot glue? Is that what you're going for these days? Is a go-to fixer-upper material, hot glue?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a-
You have
it's
to
a
wait for it to
solver.
cool as well before it even becomes
Of course, yeah.
useful. It's not super glue, Ross. Not hot glue. Super glue. Super glue bonds
No,
skin
I like the
instantly.
sensation of the. Like the
It
sensation
says that
of
on the
heat.
tube.
When
Bonds
it
skin
dries.
and hair
nice smooth.
instantly.
Look, I've not torn my
Silky.
banjo string. Anyway, welcome to the podcast, guys. It's episode 36, and
Yes.
it's day 127 of our lockdown. Anyway, at least since we left the office,
Isn't there a
we
film?
locked ourselves
It
down.
was 127
127
hours.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
James Franco, I believe. Was it based on a book? I can't remember.
It was based on something that
But-
actually happened, was it not?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
based
that
on a
was
guy
it,
that
yeah.
got his arm trapped.
For 127
Right.
hours.
Yeah. So I feel like we've been through the same trauma, being 127
Ah.
days in lockdown, right?
I mean, I've still got both of my
Right,
arms.
so-
I don't know about.
How long do you
I
think
still
it
have
would
those.
take?
Not to
how,
brag.
How long do you think it would take to, like, you know, if somebody said you cannot leave your home unless you
Mm.
cut off one of your limbs? Which limb would it be, and how long do you think it would take?
I'd stay at home. Simply.
Yeah, I'd
I
probably
would
Stay at
never do
home
it.
for your
I'd rather stay at home
stay at home
and
your entire
keep all
life.
my limbs. Yeah.
You serious?
Otherwise, I don't know. Maybe one of the legs, because I like my arms, man. I
you
use
can't
my
stay at
hands
home
more.
for your whole life just for the loss of a limb.
He was willing. He was close to giving up a leg just then. So
That would be my that was my option. I mean, you know,
You would stay housebound for the rest of your life, which is probably, you know, hopefully at least 50 years. More than what you've lived so
Guess so.
far, just in your flat.
And ironically, you wouldn't really be able to use your legs in their full capacity if you were stuck inside all the time, you know. So I'd bring
Yeah.
one of the legs and just get like an amputee leg thing put on. There you
Yeah.
go. That's
Yeah.
your answer. I'm cutting off my leg to be
his
free.
legs going.
So you take, because originally I thought I'd take an arm off, but now thinking about it, arms are more useful than feet. You could just get a peg put on for your leg, couldn't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 I don't think they
get a
use
good
pegs
shout
though now.
on my leg.
No, they're
Just-
beyond
yeah.
pegs now.
It's a bit. It's
Yeah,
a bit
but
more advanced
I
than
want
that
a
now.
peg.
He'd
I
specify
want a
peg.
peg.
Or an old school pirate
I
peg
want a
leg.
peg.
Okay, that's
It's like
it's a
said, we've
talking
got all
point.
these
It's a talking
incredible
point.
prosthetics and these blades that actually make you run faster than normal people can.
Wow.
No,
Can
I'll
I get
take the
peg?
wooden peg, please.
Take the
Oh.
peg.
Brilliant. Wow.
Oak if you got it.
perfect. We'll let our dogs piss on it.
Or like a dildo, like that just isn't strong at all. So like every time I try and put weight on it, it just slumps, like slips out. Like, God damn, why do I have this dildo fitted? Like, ugh. You know.
Weird.
That-
Where did you get? What is it below the knee? Like, how big is that dildo?
Or like a giant ballpoint
That's a
pen.
good point. Yeah.
like a giant ballpoint pen. So
you
like
leave a mark
the end of
wherever
your
you
leg
go.
is just a rolling ball, like a really large one. So like you can kind of like drag it on the ball as well, which would be quite nice.
So you can write notes on the floor.
Yeah.
But what if
You could
do you also
giant
get
write
a
giant
Street
notes.
artist. You could be a street
do you
artist.
get a
do
giant lid to
artifacts.
put on it so that when you don't want to draw as well, like a
No,
novelty
yeah,
sign.
your dress lid when you're going to like a nice place or something. You know,
It's
you
a
don't want
cap.
to draw everywhere. Hold on, I've got to put my dress lid on. Now you just put
Got to cap him
just
off.
put a bin bag over it, I guess.
I think
bin bag round it.
prosthetics are becoming quite fashionable. Like, have you seen the?
I think they're becoming very fucking cool.
They are becoming very
Yeah.
cool. Obviously, a lot of them are experimental and conceptual, so I can't imagine the form and function have really reached Apple levels yet. But I'm excited for the
Right.
future. If we are to
Like the
be
robot
housebound,
I think it'd
then
be
we have
interesting
to
when
removing.
I think it'd be interesting when the first person elects to have a limb removed in favor of a prosthetic. I think that would be the first sign that we've got to a point where, you know, we're really excelling.
It's almost like
where a person
preferential.
goes like,
But also, like, I
like,
mean,
shit, I
what
want that.
situation would you have to be in to essentially take a service away from someone who genuinely was in need
That's a
of it?
good point. Yeah.
Just to serve you, unless there was another technical
They
reason
need
for
to
you
be
doing it, like, I don't know,
mass-produced,
maybe you had
right?
an
No,
issue with your leg
I
at some
mean
point.
that like when prosthetics become so good, you want it rather than what you've currently got. Like, what if, for
Yeah,
example,
yeah.
they said, you know, I can give you your legs, except you can run at 50 miles an hour and you don't get tired, like ever.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying is like that's, you know, truly a point of like, wow, this technology is incredible because people want it over what they already have. You know, like if
But
nothing
imagine-
else, humans are biomechanical miracles.
Yeah. But I imagine there are some people who would use it for vanity reasons, like, oh, I want to be a couple of inches taller, or, oh, I'm not quite 6 foot, so take off my shins and let's go up.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
I
height.
mean, considering the way that, like, you know, cosmetic stuff is today.
for sure, for sure. And like
there's
height isn't something that's been easily addressed, and a lot of people struggle with height. You know, some people feel they're too tall, some people feel they're too short. Like, and it really does. It's one of those
Extendo
things
legs.
that still. Yeah, exactly. It still affects
Pick a
people.
height.
You know, people still really struggle with, like, you know, there's a lot of things you can do about your appearance, but your height is a difficult one to play with beyond wearing, you know, shoes, like certain kinds of shoes. So, like, I think
Robert
yeah,
Downey
that'd be a really
Jr.
interesting
lifts.
application.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Be like
or
a Go-Go
Tom
Gadget
Cruise
brand.
stilts. Yeah, for
Like
sure.
Go-Go Gadget
Extendo legs.
spring feet. Boing, 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 and then you can
Yeah.
start, like, hopping over fences and stuff. And
How
committing
I
crimes.
mean, how insanely enjoyable would that be? And
It'd
they're
be great.
hooked up
Well,
and
yeah.
optimized to your reflexes, so you perfectly land. You superhero land perfectly every time. Oh,
Well, I mean, that's the advantage of Go-Go Gadget. Go-Go Gadget could do anything. He could spring
so
his
would you
arms
want to have
around.
to say "go gadget" every time? Do you think?
Yeah, you would.
Would you have a
to say
word
that.
to activate it?
I feel like
What
I'd rather
word
just
would
like a
you
button.
use? Right.
I don't know.
Holy
A keyword.
shit.
I think maybe just
It's our
the word
platform.
gadget followed by whatever I want to activate. Like gadget legs. Then I'm like extended.
Does it make
really
that sound
high.
effect?
Or maybe like gadget fingers, and then I get like scissor hand fingers or something. And then yeah, maybe that's too far. I don't know.
Wouldn't it be
Will science
easier
get
to
that far?
be
Keyword.
like the T2000
Probably.
Terminator 2, where you're just liquid
Yeah.
metal and you could form it into any shape you wanted?
Yeah.
Like you could have an extended
Well, yeah,
neck.
that's like
Be weird, but you can be anything. You can have scissor hands if you wanted. You can
that's
have scissor
essentially
legs.
just replacing our bodies with.
So did
yeah,
you say
robots.
extendo neck because you were looking at my neck?
No, I was remembering the scene from Terminator where the head like comes through, but
You're taking the piss, aren't you, Trot? No, you can have a weird extendo neck like yours, Smith. That's what you really said.
Extending my neck.
Got a weird
yes,
neck.
you nailed it. Fuck.
I
you
got fused vertebrae, guys.
saw right through
I told
it.
you this before. I got fucking two of the vertebrae in my neck are fused together, and it bothers me because I know that they're in there doing fucking nothing. Just
Imagine
stuck
replacing
together.
your spine with a prosthetic spine
Yeah.
that could extend, could do whatever shape you want. 90 degree, boom.
Oh,
Tried, like,
you're saying
straight
I could be a
away.
snake boy, worm boy. I
Yeah.
could be worm
Worm
boy.
boy.
Your other bones
tried, like,
might
done
suffer.
Get like a butter knife underneath, in between them, and just flicking them apart. You know,
Oh,
just popping
if
them.
only.
Just really.
The-
There we go.
So there's not really
the
any
nerve.
surgery to fix it. Imagine right
No.
now, yeah. Think about your spine. Feel your spine. Feel the movement of your spine. Twist your head. Right.
Oh,
Now imagine the segment,
Oh,
like
the whole way.
2/3 of the way down before your neck hits your spine. Before your
Yeah.
neck hits your shoulders.
Yeah.
Imagine just two of those moving parts were just stuck together in a block instead. That's just my neck, and
jeez.
so I can't turn my head as far. And yeah, what all it is like, so between each of your vertebrae, normally there's like a disc, right? This is your spinal discs. So it's like vertebrae, disc. Yeah.
Oh no, you're washing.
Am I washing? Still there.
It's a washing pile bigger. If you're listening, he's got a big pile of washing behind him.
Like one of my vertebrae just goes vertebrae, bone, vertebrae, and there's no disc in between it. There's disc here, but there's just this chunk. It's like Toblerone almost. It's got the curve in the bone where the disc would have been, but there's a fuse here where it shouldn't be. So basically, this vertebrae's here.
So
this
the
vertebrae's
bones
here,
are
then there's
fused
the fusing
together.
bone. Yeah, so the two vertebrae are fused together, and there's no disc in between either. So even if you broke this this piece of bone fusing them together, I'd then need a new disc put in, and this is all whilst you're potentially damaging the central sort of nerves that run down the
pretty
spine, which
important
would
nerve
paralyze
down
you for
there.
life.
Yeah.
So it's quite complicated and something that can never really been.
Well, you
It
could probably
doesn't
just
give
get an
much problem.
angle grinder in there, and just go around the edges.
Well, do you think you guys have steady hands? You feeling steady?
I've got pretty
Yeah.
steady hands.
You
Yeah, a
think you
couple
can
of
do it?
whiskeys, I'll be perfect.
Couple of
stable.
whiskeys and
Just,
an
yeah,
angle
look at
grinder,
that.
and you guys can sort me
Look
out.
at that.
That is pretty steady. That's because he hasn't had his whiskeys though.
This
I
is
got-
the hand I'll be
I got
using. though.
steadier than that when he's had his
This
whiskeys.
is my dominant hand though, so I can't.
Oh dear.
Use my good
No, we're not going
hand.
to be. We're not going to become surgeons anytime soon, guys.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
think
Maybe a
so.
surgeon sim.
However,
No further.
have you seen that there was a successful remote surgery using VR the other day? Talking
What,
of
like
the same
robot
thing.
arms and stuff into.
Yep.
or
So they
what?
had like a tablet with a stylus. I think they had another device which was like controlling the movement of the arm in 3 dimensions. But then they also had VR goggles, so they could see the patient in 3D and move their head around,
Yeah.
which is pretty fucking cool.
That's kind of what you want from that kind of technology. That's where you want
Yeah.
it to get to, where it's actually saving lives and making a difference, and also, I guess, being more accurate to the finest detail. Yeah, that sounds really cool.
Yeah.
So we'll do
World's
that. We'll
first
get
surgery
hold of that
live
technology. How much is it?
broadcasted.
20 quid?
Yeah, 20
How
quid.
much? I don't think it's going to be 20 quid. I don't
Okay.
know much about medical costs, but I hear that most things don't go cheap.
No, not at all. He looks like he's about to go skiing. He's got these goggles on with mirrored
They live
like,
streamed it.
front on it. They live streamed the whole thing, so you can actually go online and find this.
Is that a
and watch
dog?
this somewhere.
Oh no. What?
That's impressive.
They
What,
let a dog in the
wait, is
operating
the surgery
theatre.
on a... Oh, right. What sort of surgery was it on?
Oh,
again?
Poppins.
What?
I don't know. Some fused vertebrae in the where the shoulder meets the neck or something.
Oh,
I don't
man.
Oh,
Uh,
they can do it, Trott. Don't tempt me, Frodo. Look, I'm gonna go and just get that done one day without telling you guys, and then just come back and totally paralyzed. And I'm like, yeah, it didn't go well. That's the last time I get a
Didn't go
backstreet
well.
spine defusal.
Or it
They
goes
said they were
perfectly and we still
using
don't notice.
VR.
It didn't go well. Now deal with me. Basically, I'd be like, you
Yeah.
know, like I roll in and just be like, guys, this is what you now have to work with as a content partner. I went for
Okay.
a backstreet spinal defuse and things went awry. Now set me up.
It's all right.
And then you guys would have to
Well,
move
Craig-
everything out the way for me.
Craig can just do all the stuff for you. You can just be on face cam. Craig will be all right with that.
Craig will be too busy changing my pants.
Yeah. Well, he has
You
to
know?
do that too.
It's really obvious.
He does that anyway.
How lifts work. We've got an
Right.
image here of Robert Downey. Sorry, go back to the lift thing. I've
Lifts.
still
He's
got
gone back
loads of
to what? The height issue.
height.
Yeah?
Height issue.
Okay.
So
Those
Right,
are just
so
kind of ugly as fuck
describe the
shoes, I'm not
picture.
gonna lie.
So Robert Downey Jr. sat down with some high tops, right? These are high top shoes.
Right.
But what you
Yeah.
can tell is the bulge here.
Yeah.
Imagine this line is like a high heel.
Okay, so it's like
Oh.
segmented, right?
His
Oh wait, so his
heel's
high top is a
actually
high
there,
heel.
and
Oh,
that because that's
shit.
bulging there, that's his foot.
Oh,
Kind
Yeah,
of
it's, I was gonna
tiptoes.
say it looks hideous because that like it looks like
'Cause of the
90% of his
bulge.
foot is in the in the bulge area rather than in
It
the
is.
toe box. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it is, and then the whole bottom wedge is a lift.
Well, so how tall is this
She's-
guy? Is he not?
What?
Is he not
I don't
that tall?
Robert
think
Downey
he's that short, right?
don't know.
But I think he's
Do you
got
think there's
going
going
to
to be a? Do you think there's going to be a short people uprising? I guess it's not possible, but like, I mean,
There's a lot of benefits
in
to being
terms
short.
of in terms of like,
Longer.
obviously it can be a complex for some people because when you look at all these dating profiles and stuff, it's like, oh, they've got to be 6 foot or whatever, or they have to be tall. I guess it can cause quite a complex for some people to the point where they are literally having high heels hidden within high top shoes.
He's
think that's a
allegedly
negative thing.
5'7", which is 1.74 meters.
5'7".
But-
That's what's wrong with 5'7"?
Is that with or
bad?
without lifts? No one really knows.
Well, Google lifts his height as 5'9".
Has he got the lifts on or off?
Also, Google also lists Scarlett Johansson's height as 5'3". What?
I mean, that's possible.
That
I mean,
probably sounds
tiny.
about
to be fair,
right.
It's
the
like-
films that we see them in are like superhero films where they're all being like shot from low angles, like crashing down.
Get
like,
the apple
all stood
box!
in like a line where they're all like, standing on apple boxes. Here we got Scarlett Johansson, Robert, of course. Here you go. You're fine. You're fine. Don't worry. Thor, you're okay.
For
But yeah,
reference, everyone's
it's all-
saying that
it's
I'm
all
the same
staged, isn't
height
it?
as Robert Downey Jr. I'm 5'9", not 7, so I got 2
you're taller
inches on
than
him. And 2 inches
Wow.
matters, as we all know.
But this is it. You're drilling in the complex. You're making it worse.
You
Don't make
seem
him
to be
feel
working
bad.
pretty well with it.
Although saying that, if anything, we've made that worse because everyone says that Trott's short, but it's just that we're just taller than average. I guess. Are we taller than average? I'm
Yeah,
6'.
we're
Yes, you
fucking
are.
gigantic, really.
You're both
3?
taller than average.
You're 6'5".
You're
aren't you?
6'3", Ross.
I'm
You're
6'3".
You're
yeah.
only about an inch shorter than I am. I'm 6'4"
Yeah.
and a half. I'm not quite 6'5". So for Europeans, I am about 193 or 195 centimeters tall. Ross is about 190, I think.
Okay.
So like, we're pretty tall. Like,
The
and a lot of
average
people
man
say that
in
when they
England
meet
is
us.
5'9".
Yeah, they do.
That's
Well,
my
were
height.
you a gangly
I'm average.
fucker, like at school?
Me, yeah.
I was a gangly fucker.
Yeah.
Smith was
I was
gangly.
kind
yeah.
of gangly, very scrawny, but tall, and so
I came out
it's just
5'9"
awkward looking.
from birth.
You came
and
out
stayed
full
that
height.
way.
Well,
Wow.
I have
Hello,
never
mother.
grown.
I'm a never
Most
grow.
people, the height is the same as their arm width. So your wingspan, when you put your arms out straight either side of you, that is called your wingspan. Most people have very, very close to their own height in their wingspan. So if you're 6 foot, your wingspan is probably going to be 6 foot. However, my wingspan is 2 inches extra. I'm 6'6" across, so it makes me look even
Wowzers.
ganglier because both my fucking arms are
You
too
look
long,
like-
and
yeah.
every single shirt I buy is too short in the cuff, and it
Whose hand
just
was
makes
that?
me look like an ape, if I'm honest with you.
Oversized. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. You could just,
Put it off.
if you
put it
kneel
off
in the
the-
Yeah.
right way, you could drag your knuckles.
Stretch your arms out.
How are you going to see this on this? Like,
Put it back.
oh, wrong way. He's gone across. Trot, you put yours in the middle.
So
Yeah, be the.
Wait,
We're just doing a visual effect where our arms stretch all the way across our cameras. Brilliant! Wow. Oh, what a wingspan he has. Oh, it's getting longer.
What an arm. Hell of an
Oh
arm.
my god.
But yeah, it
watches.
just makes me
Bit of
feel
visual play
taller.
there.
But this is something that people tell us a lot when they meet us. They're like, "Oh, didn't know you were so
Yeah.
tall." It's like, yeah, we're
And
pretty
also,
tall.
they say to Trot they
Trot's-
didn't realize he was that tall because he's not short.
Yeah, it's 'cause
Yeah.
I'm wearing lifts.
like 90% of our male fans who meet us are like, "Oh man, Trot's taller than me," or like, "Oh, I'm the same height as Trot. I thought he'd be really
There's
small." Like,
there's also
so
an air of
often.
disappointment.
so often.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
There's an
hoping
air of
that I'd be
disappointment when they
small.
say that as well.
God,
yeah.
I wanted to bully him in real
Yeah.
life. Now I can't. I'm looking
Yeah.
up to
Yeah, I'm
him.
not really sure what the hope is there. Oh, I really hoped you were tiny, like a small.
So
I
can
think
put it
a
in my
lot of
pocket.
people, especially in Hollywood, are always smaller than you expect. So you're always like, "Oh, I thought they'd be taller." With us, it's the other way around, which is quite funny. But I'll gladly loom over people. It's fine.
Yeah, it's
Looking down,
Yeah, no, it
at
has
all
its
the little
advantages.
people.
I can reach top shelves.
Yeah.
Yeah. For
it has a
photography.
psychological
Shelters.
effect. Like you guys are more imposing than other people, so you're probably
Yeah.
able to do things that other people are like, "Pff, walk away from this, son. You're too small for this.
Like walking
Come
down
on."
a dark alleyway, proudly.
What's your likelihood of being stabbed?
I'm tall and
tall
big.
height versus small height, like, or being overwhelmed by a mob of people, or like, you know, getting accosted on the street. Is your height a factor? Are people? How many times have you maybe got mugged but haven't because of your height? They sized you up and was like, nah, no thanks. Could have happened behind you without even knowing.
Yeah, possibly.
I
Whereas
mean,
I
there's
get
plenty
mugged
of short
daily.
people me that I wouldn't want to
think-
come out, like tackle.
Trott's just getting mugged 24/7.
Oh, it's
24/7
short
mugging.
ass. Game.
He's got good at running, hasn't he?
I can't run in
He
these
has-
lifts.
He's got prey written all over him. Look at him. I'm stumbling.
His eyes on the
Tripping
side of his
over
He's
head.
the speed of a gazelle.
He's already spotted us. He's frozen.
It works on the spring attachment. Oh my god. Racing.
Clearing fences like bloody Shaun of the Dead.
Gazelle. Oh yeah.
God damn, they're bred fast.
Oh mate.
Anyway.
He's being
How did
mugged
we get
right
onto
now.
that? How did we get onto height?
This is actually
Jesus.
a mugging, Trot. Can you
Ah,
send me something
shit.
via PayPal? This is an online mugging.
God damn it.
Do you
What
think
if you
that's one
got
of the
your
main
PayPal
factors
wallet,
they're
mate?
considering though? PayPal wallet.
No.
Well, there was that thing with the Bitcoin thing recently, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Where,
the hacks
loads of
on
people
like
got hacked.
Apple
Loads of
and
Oh,
Bill Gates,
God, all that Twitter accounts.
Jeff Bezos, got
Barack
hacked.
Obama.
All the big ones.
So what idiots reading that going, oh yeah, I'm going to give them 1,000 and they're going to give me 2,000. Wow, that sounds
thing
just
is,
like
Half
real.
of
Like,
America's
legit.
voting parties.
Yeah.
If Trump
I
did
mean,
it, people would do it.
oh,
If
it's
Trump's
so
account had done it,
Yeah.
that would have got Bitcoin.
Yeah. True.
But it's more
Well, I
the
guess
fact
that's
that, like,
that's the issue about it is the trustworthy nature of those accounts and that how easy
Yeah.
it is to manipulate those.
it's time to
things.
give back.
And,
Like you could say Bill Gates would do that. It's like Bitcoin. I guess you could argue like, okay, it's coming from Bill Gates, a real trusted voice. He's a tech giant, and he's supporting
Yeah.
Bitcoin now. Maybe this is real.
yeah, but
What's his?
then it went all down the
social
pan
following?
when you see Jeff Bezos offer the same thing. You're like, well, actually, it's clearly a hoax then.
There's
This
no
fucker
way
ain't
Jeff
generous.
Bezos would do that.
The thing is, I
This
don't
guy's
follow.
a
No way.
money robot.
Give something
I don't-
back.
I
No.
think those that follow Bill Gates might not follow Jeff Bezos, and vice
True.
versa, because they stand for different things. He's got 51.2 million followers, Bill Gates. I think there is a small chance that one person fell for it.
That's
Oh
the
yeah, I mean,
problem.
they apparently
Like,
hundreds of
because it's built-
thousands of dollars was spent.
And because it's
Yeah.
Bitcoin, it's super fucking hard for them to track. And so, like,
That's the-
that's what's
it's a
sad
winner.
about it is, like, there are people who have been done by this, but, like, fuck me. But you got to think about, like, we've grown up with the fucking internet, and like, we
Yeah.
kind of have learned to navigate its seas a little bit. But, like, my nan on Facebook accidentally retweeting, like, Britain First shit, you know, like,
Yeah.
she doesn't know what she's doing. She sees that, she clicks it. To be fair, she wouldn't have been able to purchase and then send Bitcoin. There's a slight barrier to entry on this scam as well.
Yeah, there's a barrier to
Like,
entry.
you need to
That's
know
the thing.
how
thing.
to
That's
to
what's
purchase and
surprising
send
about it.
Bitcoin.
Getting a
Yeah.
gullible Bitcoin owner would be tough. You'd know the risks
Yeah.
going into it, right?
Yeah.
So who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm
Unless
sure
they were so
someone-
wealthy, they're like, well, I'll
120K.
dabble.
Yeah.
120K
What have I got
watch,
to lose?
$120,000 or
Dollars worth of Bitcoin, supposedly. Because I saw that H3 tried it just to see if anyone actually would do it, and then he just refunded those people and said, look, this is stupid, it actually works, don't do it.
Right.
Although maybe he pocketed it, I have no idea.
yeah,
Yeah. It's his word. isn't it?
$120,000 they made. I mean, considering the work and the value of the exploit that will now no doubt get patched, 120 grand probably isn't worth it. You could have sold
That's the thing.
knowledge of the exploit, or however they managed to engineer that crack or that hack for much more than $120,000. So,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, all it takes is one of them to tweet from like Donald Trump's thing saying he declares war on some fucking country or some shit just to rile things up, and then
Yeah,
instantly
it
you've
could have been
caused
way
some
more
political
nefarious.
Yeah.
issues. There could
Could've
be a
been
lot.
real bad.
So if anything, it was almost like a warning sign to, I guess, Twitter, saying, "Look, this is how easy it is to hack in, and we could have done a lot fucking worse than what we did."
Almost all of those must have had
That's our
like
fee.
two-factor authentication and shit as well. That's pretty worrying.
yeah. It probably took a lot of like social engineering as well. Like, as in, I don't know. I'm no expert, but I've watched Mr. Robot, so
Well,
I feel like I've done
brilliant.
my research.
Yeah.
Well, go on
I
then.
sat through all of it. And I earned those hours. Fantastic show,
Yeah.
fantastic cast,
Yeah.
painfully slow at times.
It really was.
Anyway,
I couldn't keep watching. Unfortunately, I need to
a lot of
break
hacks,
through.
a lot of compromises don't come from just like getting in the code. They come from interactions with people, creating scenarios that allow somebody to get access to something they might not necessarily be able to get access digitally. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe they did it that way. Maybe there was an inside man. Maybe they had what's his name, the guy from Inside Man, and was also in that King Arthur film as King Arthur, where Orlando
Timothy
Bloom, I think, was
Chalamet?
Lancelot. American
no.
actor, English actor.
Okay,
Or we
here
could
we
do
go.
this. English
Okay,
actor. Legend
not
of King
Timothy
Arthur,
Chalamet.
the film that had
Legend of King Arthur. Fuck.
Keira Knightley playing
He
the
was
same
in
role
Sons
she
of
plays in all
Anarchy.
those films. Clive Owen. So maybe
Clive
they
Owen.
had Clive
Man, I haven't had that name in
Owen.
ages.
I know, right? He's all right. Clive Owen walled into Twitter's headquarters is another sort of hack they could have done.
Or Nicolas
Yeah,
Cage.
I don't know.
When he's in his National
Nicolas-
Treasure mode, or whatever it was.
Oh yeah,
National. Fuck. What was that film called?
National Treasure.
What?
That's what it was called.
The Book of Secrets was the second one. That was it. Yeah.
Oh, you were trying to find out the sub thing.
Yeah.
Did you ever see Nicolas Cage
Well, that's.
during that?
That's Clive
I
Owen.
did. Yes. Yeah, I did. So I worked on the second film briefly for like 3 days. It wasn't like working on it. As in,
Closing
like,
off
I wrote
roads.
any scripting for it. It was literally just marshalling, where you put on a high vis and people not to walk down certain roads when they're filming certain bits. But yeah, we saw him. Yeah, we saw him briefly. I spoke to the second lead character. I can't remember his name now. Ethan something. Spoke to him briefly
Ethan Hawke?
at lunch. Not Ethan Hawke. No, I don't know
I
what
know
else
who
he's
you
been
mean,
in
though.
to even back that up. But if you've seen the film, he's the other dude that is his sidekick. So I spoke to him briefly. He was a nice guy, very friendly, considering I was just a lowly scrub just having some lunch. But
He didn't need to punch you in the
yeah,
face.
that
though.
was a tiring experience.
Yeah, he didn't
punch
need
me
to
in the
take
face
your
at
lunch
all.
and say, "This is my food.
No.
You're literally eating my food."
Yeah,
And
he said,
he then
"Get
spits
back
in
to
it,
the
gives it
streets,
back to you, and then
scrub." Yeah,
he watches you eat the sandwich he's now spitting. Does that taste good,
Yeah.
little poor warden boy?
I was like,
Yeah, that
I'm
sounds
so
just
thank
like-
you. I've been up since 3 a.m. Thank you very much. It was literally 3 a.m. until 11 a.m. is the working hours.
3
in
to
terms of,
11
like, what they were filming.
a.m.
Yeah.
I don't.
So
Uh,
got up at 3,
I
got
don't
to the
envy
set
that.
about 3:30, 4, and then
Yeah.
from then on you're just constantly up and about, sawing, just basically.
it fucking
clawing
sucks. It's a
things off.
terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible
It'd
lifestyle.
be an awful way to work your way up from there. Like, it's
it's you
that
have
is
to just be
low of
such
the
a-
lows.
Yeah, it's awful. It's
Who
and
was it
a
that's
lot-
excited about getting up at 3 a.m.? Like, who is it in the filmmaking process that's like,
the assistant
okay, we need to
director.
get
not
everyone
really-
up at 3 a.m.?
It's about light,
First
and
AD.
daylight, and what they're filming. So they were filming stunt
Right.
shots. So all the driving through London in the second film was basically blocked off
Like low
areas
traffic.
where they were waiting for early morning shots. They would just get all those done as soon as possible, and they would have everything scheduled to timings of the day. So that it was all based on how bright it was. So you have to get there at 3, 4 a.m. Everyone else is doing their makeup. You're sorting out kind of basically just where you need to be for that day. And yeah, it's quite boring, but like it was exciting for me because it was the first time I'd been on any kind of set or anything. So it was like, oh yeah, what's going
that
on?
was an
What are they doing?
interesting
And they're,
set.
like crashing a Mercedes into this
Yeah.
taxi cab. That's fun.
You get
And
to
so
watch.
watching all that stuff was really good fun. So it wasn't bad in that sense. But I only worked 3 days. There are people who worked the entire time with those schedules, and I'd be like, fuck that. But
I had
Good luck to
3
them now,
weeks
they
to
probably worked their
fucking
way
kill
up.
Keith. I want to kill him. at the
yeah,
end
oh
of it.
yeah.
Jesus Christ, it was so boring. So boring. And they didn't
Yeah.
really know what they were doing. The crew was like brought together, so the crew knew their jobs very well, but the
Yeah.
director was just kind of like this middle-aged guy that just had loads of like investment money and was like, I want to make a funny film with all my favorite TV presenters.
Oh
And
really?
had no
That's
vision.
how it came about.
Yeah, they're like guys that just try and make money at DVD level,
Yeah.
break even, just because it's fun to do.
They do like Danny Dyer films that go straight
Yeah.
to video. Yeah.
straight to video.
It's weird
But-
because obviously those type of options we had straight after uni or whatever were kind of like bigged up as those are your opportunities to kind of get into the industry and kind of work up from there. And obviously I can see how you can do that because I mean the person who invited me to work on that in the first place, he was I think second AD, now he's the first AD, so he was like assisting the director.
Now he's an
in
asshole.
setting up shot stuff, and so like, but he's worked fucking these tireless days to get to that level. And it's just like, God, yeah, you've got to really want it. But I don't know if you're probably better if you're into writing a film or if you're into filming or anything else. There must be other ways to get into it because Jesus, like working from the bottom up must be tough.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, I
I
mean,
need a taste
but
of it.
it's the only way to prove yourself on set time and time again, isn't it? It's like, well,
Yeah,
they've been
yeah.
here for the past few films I've been in. I think they're capable.
Yeah,
of
and you
being
get dragged along to
sparky.
the next one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
They're
how
like,
it
oh,
works.
you were good last time. We'll bring you into the next one. That's great. It's like all those people I worked with there had worked on all the Harry Potter films. So,
Yeah,
and they were like kind of saying how like horrible it was to work on them because obviously working with kids, you have to abide by child
So many more
laws in
laws,
terms of
yeah.
work laws. So they couldn't film for very long. So it was a
Yeah,
case of
they
just
got to go back to
really
school.
early mornings, setting everything up, and then like filming for short periods, and then just doing all the bits with the adults secondarily. And it's just
But you
like
can also see where this like
it was a lot of
asshole
it just stretches out the process.
because there's a lot of asshole nature in the film industry where
Yeah.
if they're a rank above you, they treat you like shit. Only because they've been doing it so long and they're so jaded at that point. It's like, I'm above this now. I'm above you. I've done your job for like years and years and
I think
years,
that
and
happens
now I get
everywhere
to
though,
treat
man.
you like shit because I'm first AD.
But that happens with any kind of managerial roles. I found anyway. The moment someone moves up, they're like, "Oh, I've got a bit of power, so yeah, why don't you just scrub those lower shelves there, son?" You know, it's just like, yeah.
I just feel like it's
how it kinda
exasperated
works,
because I think you can become manager quicker in retail because it's a smaller ropes to climb. But in the film
but
industry,
people move on quickly in retail, don't they?
Yeah, in film industry, you can get fucking walked over for years and years before you move up.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we
And then
avoided that.
Yeah,
So-
definitely.
Well,
Yeah,
also,
being able to do our own thing was good.
I was watching a documentary about like it was called like Monty Python The Truth. Like
I wanted to watch
yeah,
that.
yeah. I've seen
it's on
episodes.
Netflix, I think. I was watching it on.
Yeah,
Basically just them candidly talking about how they got together and stuff like that. And they were like, writing partner. A couple of them were writing partners before they sort of started, making stuff together and all this sort of stuff. And like, but the main driving force of their success, their creativity, their story was the fact that almost every single cast member of Monty Python went to Cambridge or Oxford, right?
Yeah.
And within Cambridge and Oxford, they had these very exclusive comedy clubs that you could become a part of. And if it was seen to be a good writer or whatever, then you were allowed in. And then they would organize shows where they'd go up to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival and they were doing comedy shows up there, all during university. And they were saying like, essentially, they were planning, their parents had sent them to these fancy schools and these places to become solicitors, become accountants, become like, money-making jobs that are very stable. And all of them rebelled, which I think is what happens. I think often you want to be something quite different to your parents. And if you look generationally, you can see the contrast between a child and their parents and then the children that child may have. Like you don't rebel, but you see what your parents have done. And then you try and do it a different way with the knowledge of how they've done it. And I think they all felt that. They were like, a lot of their parents were solicitors, accountants, all that sort of stuff. So they were saying, I wanted to do comedy. I wanted to be on stage. And my parents would never let me do that. They said, you can't do that. Then they all sort of ended up lying to their parents saying that they were going to get a job with the BBC when in reality they were doing, random little shows here and there. And this is how apparently Stephen Fry and Hugh Laurie met as well. The difference is, right?
The whole lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So they were all writers. They were all obviously very talented, very funny people, and then became successful because of their good ideas and things like that. But they are an example of, they weren't really grinding on the circuit for very long. They weren't really, they did kind
They
of
were already in a
almost what
privileged
we've done
position.
in some respects. Well, partly that, but also kind of what we did, like where we managed to leapfrog a lot of those early stages of our career because of what we did, and our audience made us more important than perhaps we would have been to creative processes. Like where we've been the focus of a shoot rather than the ones sticking cables down on the floor and things like that. Like
Yeah.
And this is another thing. This is something that it comes into how I think about effort and time put in and things like that. Is a lot of time. There are people just who have their foots indoors, and there are people who have very special, unique things happen to them that allow them to become successful. And I think, in part, it's important to bear that in mind, because, like, if you look at those film sets you're talking about, like, this is why I asked earlier, like, who is it that is on set that's excited to do that right there? And, who is it that's driving those moments forward when you've got so many other people in these miserable fucking positions because of the various constraints, whether it be working with child actors and stuff? And it kind of, for me, that gets to me a bit. It kind of is shown in corporate structure as well, and in the corporate world, whether in what position you are. And for example, when I worked in Screwfix for a little while in the media section, we'd have a director come along, a director who's now actually, I think, the director of Screwfix in general. He was at the time head of media or something like that, and he would come up and be like, okay, gang, what are we doing today? And like, he'd put his like foot on the table, and be like, right, what are today's challenges? And it's like, well, I mean, this IBM piece of software we're using, their servers are down today. So like, it means that like a lot of the stuff we were processing is just like not getting processed fast enough. And he's like, okay, what can we do instead? And we were like, well, like, I mean, I guess we could start this, but I mean, the servers are probably going to be up in a couple of hours. So like, like
realism,
we're working like shit in the trench scenario. And then this person comes along and he's like, I'm the mover and the shaker. I'm getting paid about 15 times as much as you. And then it's like, but again, he came from, I think, quite a privileged background and all this sort of stuff. And it's like, yes, you can absolutely work your way up through things, but sometimes it fucking sucks to realize the amount of shit some people have to put up with. Like,
and some people just get handed it.
I don't know what point I'm trying to make, but like,
that was the one thing I noticed though, on set. The one thing I noticed was, the glamour is lost almost immediately. Like, these people are working a job. That it is a job to them. It's not necessarily, oh yeah, look, Nick Cage is over there. Like, some of them, sure, it's like, oh, that's pretty cool, but like, that is instantly faded when it's like, I'm trying to get a job done. I'm paid X amount, and I'm working my way up potentially, or that's just their role. So that's all they do. So they're professional. But it's the glamour that we kind of like associate with films and TV and stuff. It's not the same as kind of, I think, that you get the impression of when you're in uni and you're looking at these TV and film courses, and you're like, oh yeah, I can't wait to be like a cameraman. But like, you realize that it's going to be like extremely long hours. Like, imagine being like like eager to, I can't wait to go see lions and do nature documentaries and shit. Yeah, because he was just like constantly back and forth to his like mobile thing. Nick Cage is feeling a little bit chilly, so we're going to cancel shoot today. Okay, no worries. Let's wish him well.
Hard.
But it gets to that very elitist level of the actor is this kind of like guy who's put on a podium or woman put on a podium
deity,
and just kind of they are the person that needs to be the most attention towards. They need to be treated well, and they are paid the most. So that's the whole point.
They're on screen, and if they don't perform on screen, they're wasting everybody's time. So you have to pander to them. They're in that wonderful position of, it does matter if I'm here and I'm happy. Everyone has to pander to it.
It matters if everyone's happy as well. Like,
true,
it does matter.
But people exploit
happy.
that.
Like,
on a much smaller scale, we've had a similar thing where we've been to events and stuff and been treated kind of like we're important, and I find that so weird and strange because we just make dumb videos
especially
online.
More
like,
corporate things.
That takes me, because it's like, whoa, you need to treat me any differently. Like, we just fuck around on the internet. Like, we're not.
It's like the bigger the company we're dealing with, like Microsoft or something, the more we're treated like that. And there's weird shit like on standby for us that we never anticipated. Like, there's a hairdresser here if you want a haircut. Right now.
I love that shit.
And
I remember that.
I got a haircut twice. 2 haircuts, baby.
And a manicure
like,
and a makeup artist.
This is strange.
It's like, oh my
God.
God.
Can you just cut my hair to this makeup person? They're like, yeah. I'm like, I'm just going to get a free haircut.
But also it just felt so unnecessary. Didn't it sometimes? Just in terms of like, there's a wardrobe and there's a team of people doing wardrobe when all you just wanted to wear was just like, just a shirt and
but it's like
whatever.
That is I feel like that's a translated industry, because Microsoft have probably dealt with film and TV before. They've got the crew and the reliable network contacts that they've worked with, third parties that have done their credits and audits and shit, which we know about. and they're reliable, and you can go back to them. It's like, we got a similar photo shoot with people that are considered popular.
Yeah.
We know the people that deal with that sort of thing. Let's just put them on it. They don't know what gaming is, but they're reliable, and I think that's how we're ending up in those sorts of things. And when we're dealing with corporate stuff, it's like the lines are blurring a little bit. We're doing photo shoots similar to how celebrities do photo shoots for their latest films and TV promo and trailers and stuff. So it's interesting. But yeah, we got asked whether it happens on YouTube with, instead of like your hierarchy of literally where you are in your job position, whether sub counts and things like that have an effect. And I'd say the only time that really is noticeable is at gaming festivals, events, Twitch cons, things like that, where it's not necessarily the event itself that's doing that, but you can definitely see preferential treatment to or like
that
this
sub-number makes
panderizing
all the difference.
People,
we've seen it before, and also
clamoring.
not just from the people treating them, but the people themselves, where it's clearly gone to their heads.
They treat
to a point where
themselves
they've
like that.
kind of really kind of they're not grounded anymore. They're like, I'm this number of subscribers, therefore I am higher, and that's all that matters now. And so, them treating you differently, we're just like, dude, we all did the same fucking thing. You got lucky, it works out, you're doing a good job, but like, don't let it go to your head. Who gives a fuck?
It's interesting to also, because we've been in it so long, we've seen people that have had fewer sub counts than us, and then a few years down the line see them again when they're vastly bigger, and then notice the personality shift in them as well, which is super interesting.
I wonder if I wonder if all that treatment over time has
I used to like
effect,
Spiffing Brit, and now he's a total
it's a total now he hit 1 million.
Bloody hell.
God damn it.
When he was just below, he was all right.
It is also important to stress that isn't the case with everybody, just so people don't presume that as soon as somebody gets bigger,
they're anomalies. It's the people you'd expect to be like that. The ones that are like constantly selling out, look fake when they're doing their stuff, and are constantly networking with people of either equal or higher sub count than them, and disregarding everybody else. It's the shit.
Dead giveaway when people say things like, "I don't listen to negativity. Be happy, be free." All these people that like talk
my
about
fans are my
like,
family.
Bullshit, like, they're all
every
the assholes,
one of you.
Right? This is the way to tell, right? If they say things like, "I don't listen to the haters," it's because they know they're doing something fucked up, but it's making them money, so they'll just keep doing
it. Works, it's ticking the boxes, and it's making their bank bigger.
And this is why we don't have many friends higher up than us in the industry.
Because I genuinely think that is the reason. I think that is the reason, though, because like
people are afraid of us.
I can't stand that type of person. I can't stand someone who's fake. I don't either. None of us can. When we see that in real life,
I
it's
hate
like, why am I going to hang out? I don't want to talk to you properly because I can't relate to you. You're obviously on a different level, and you're acting like you're on a different level. We can't relate. I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
So it kind of goes both ways a little bit. It ruins it, but it's a shame, really.
I get it, like the whole fan pandering thing, where it's like, all of you matter. Each and every one of you is my friend, because obviously without them, they are nothing. They're not doing what they're doing. However, I feel it's really shallow to say that each and every one of you means everything to me, because you've never met any of these people, and to them you are a number. Like, you've not had an interaction on a friend level. You can't possibly know more than 100 people and remember all their names. That's human nature. You can't, have that close connection with.
Look at something like Twitch, like the comments that stream by on these larger like channels. Like there's no way you could like chat to any of those people. Like they can't even chat to each other in those fucking like situations. So like when they do say things like that, it's just like, look, be honest. Like, you know, you don't need to pander to them and be like, you're my friend. Let's you're my family. I love you all individually. It's like, no. It's
not until I've had like a one-on-one interaction with someone that I can consider them. I appreciate everybody. I can appreciate everybody, I think, but I can't say that we are friends when I've not had any sort of interaction with you other than a one-sided one. So, and I think that's unfair because that's where you get some people that take that for granted and say, we're friends. You've told me we're friends.
Yeah, exploited.
Yeah, and get exploited. It's like, well, I've been buying your merch, and you're saying that you're friends because of that.
But that's it. That's not to say that you don't appreciate them, but like, being friends with them is a very different situation. Like, I
think the wording is important.
Match up.
And people exploit that, and YouTubers at that level exploit that. That some do. Some really like fucking drill.
Some
down
who
the
have
hole.
much younger audiences, I find, because obviously, like, ultimately they can't they can't relate to them. They're just making more child-friendly content, and that's how that works.
It's a very spongy audience. They absorb everything they hear and they learn from you, and it's dangerous. It can be dangerous because they think.
I think what complicates a lot of this is the fact that, like you say, we've been doing this for 10 years or so, and we came from a place in YouTube where it was very much a two-way relationship of, it was you, the audience would say things back to you, your content would then communicate things back to them, like that was it. You'd put a video out, see what people say about it, and make decisions. I think now a lot of the really big YouTubers, especially the ones that have younger audiences than us, are much more a one-directional form of communication, right? They are providing a product that kids are sitting down in front of, and they don't care about, they don't really care about that person in the same way that I think earlier YouTube communities did, where it was much more about your investment in those people. I think they see it as, there is this guy who's really good at Fortnite that I just watch, and I see all the best plays, and I know where to find stuff. Like, that's it. They don't care about, like, I mean, they might care a little bit about, say somebody gets a dog, like, oh, it's a puppy, that's cool. But they don't really care about, like, that person's aims and aspirations and the story of, like, where they've been and, like, the things they're into. Like, whilst I think that we much more hope that our audience gets that information, and that's where the value comes from. Unfortunately, I just think YouTube is going along the lines of the content that doesn't have that communication, that doesn't have that two-way communication, isn't as important as these hyper-popular products with these one-way forms of communication that are currently now all over YouTube. That's it. Like, and they can say these things. They can say that they have these connections with their fans, but the reality is they don't. And that's fine. This is fine. If you're one of these people that's like, I make these videos that people really enjoy and I make money from them, and that's my job, that's totally fine. Like, but don't pretend that you have those older, I think, earlier values of community that I think YouTube doesn't really have anymore because of various reasons.
You can't possibly, if you've got 10 million subscribers, you don't know each and every one of them as a friend. So don't communicate that. It's fake. It's not real. And it's exploitative. But I think, I don't know where we're going with that, but that's how we feel about
it's
everything.
more of that kind of reflects on what's happened recently in terms of, like, people thinking they know someone when they don't. And obviously, if you're selling that idea of yourself, but then if you did something awful, they're like, no, there's no way they could do that because he did that thing in Minecraft once. It's like, well, look, like, no, it's not the same. It's the people you see on screen are like entertaining you. Now that's the core goal, really. And if you follow their Twitter profiles and stuff, that's still a different persona to you knowing them. So like, when people, like, kind of staunchly stand by someone and when they've done something awful, even when it comes down to, like, extreme cases, when you look at, like, Jimmy Savile, for example, he still had, like, if you've seen the Louis Theroux documentary where he goes back to talk about Jimmy Savile, because he did a documentary a long time before when Jimmy Savile was alive.
You mentioned it before.
He went back to these people who were affected or people who knew him, and they're still standing by him. There's still people who will genuinely stand by him and say, oh, he's done too many nice things. But how does that outweigh all the terrible things he did? And it's like they just choose not to switch it off because they just see that nice. And so it's a cult-like mentality where either they, maybe, their morals could be different, sure, but it just shows you that you shouldn't put someone on a pedestal
in a positive way.
I know what you mean. But don't put people on a pedestal. That's basically it.
Definitely.
You'll only be disappointed. Or tricked, deceived.
That's human nature as well. That I think, obviously, human nature changes. I won't just say that's human nature. That's the way it was always going to be. But I think putting people on pedestals is a reflection of, like, tribalist society. Like, like what we were all very, very tribalist. We all are. Like, there was always talk about worrying about globalism ruining the world's cultures. It kind of, we are still extremely tribal, and it's the enemy of man, tribalism, I think. Like, this is why, you know, an alien invasion would be so great, because, you know, it would unify us like as one people rather than a series of different groups or
Trott's
tribes of people.
He knows where you're going.
Yeah,
With
well, you know, Trott
that.
knows as soon as I start talking about aliens, he's like, oh, here we go. But no, it's just an example. I mean, the pandemic as well, as you would hope. The problem is with the pandemic, we can't freely move around and interact with each other to help each other. But with like something like a pandemic, it does bring greater unity to us, in that, you know, we're having to survive against something else, something other. We don't have to create an enemy, and nothing unifies like hate. And so you bring people together. Yeah, it's the same deal with what you were talking about. Like there are like tribalist elements to a lot of this, and morals are one of those things. Like morals are changed based on where you are, and if that person thought that it really is just a scale of if you do enough good in the world, you can do some bad, then that's just the way they see the world. And I mean, make a judgment on that person how you will, but I guess it kind of is. It's not always bad and good. This is what's really frustrating and really complicated and really hard to understand.
Million complex things,
yeah,
nice.
Exactly. There's a million little nuances, and making hard decisions anyway is just almost impossible rationally. But yeah, I mean, I'm fairly.
But now the world gets to watch now. That's the thing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Every action people take, it's all filmed, it's all recorded on CCTV, or even if you're posting it yourself. There are people.
So a slightly more positive,
on your actions.
A bit more of an interesting thing on that is, I was thinking about, like, we have photos of like our lives because of Facebook and things like that, and obviously we have tons of video now as well. But before YouTube, we had like Facebook, we had like MySpace, and then that was sort of like the earlier forms of digital storage of things, right? Because I don't know about you guys, but I don't really have many physical photos of my teenage years anywhere. You know, like,
not really.
I can't see that I've got like a box of photos.
No.
And for us,
that, like,
all
my
that sort of
mum's
started
kept.
happening.
Yeah.
It all happened with the camera phone, really, is when most people started taking photos of things, right? Is when phones started to get half decent cameras. And we're not talking about the shitty little VGA.
I don't know. I feel like there was
one.
a transition. There was a transition because I remember
from
like first year of uni, everyone had those compact cameras.
Yeah, the digital ones.
Do you remember that?
Right.
And
yeah,
there was
like
this
the
kind of trend
like
where
everyone,
and you had a
there
digital
was a
like
trend,
USB.
there's a trend where everyone got all these compact
Yeah.
cameras and stuff, and that was like just before camera phones got good, basically. Because I
Right.
remember that, like,
Exactly.
my flatmate, she just took photos of fucking everything, like in the first year, and it was just constant. It was like, oh, let's take a photo of this, let's take a photo of that. It's like it was almost a fucking issue.
Because Facebook was just starting up to post photos.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
And everybody was suddenly paranoid about appearing as though they have a good life to other people on Facebook. And we opened that Pandora's box of fun, of fun insecurity. But before that, like school and stuff, like I don't have many photos. I was like kind of sad. I'm like, shit, I'd love to see some photos from like college, you know, like I really enjoyed college, and I don't have a huge amount of photos from back then. And then before that as well, secondary school and things like that. There's this weird break-off point where we can go from, you know, almost in a matter of years, go from complete trackability of like, I can tell you what month that photo came from and what day.
It's all got dates and GPS on it.
Complete vagueness of, like no digital categorizing of them. And like, that's kind of sad in a way. Like, I don't care that much. I mean, it doesn't get me down, but like, there are now plenty of people that have. Well, also cataloging though, because like, now people who are born now will have every element of their life photographed and stored, and yes, of course that has huge implications for privacy, but at the same time it's a very valuable treasure trove of photos and information.
It's a memory extension.
Yeah, it really is, and that's pretty cool.
Have you ever looked at like some old like home footage, like maybe that your dad filmed or anything like that? Because I mean, I used to film quite a bit in secondary school. That's like I had a tiny little camera, and it was
we never had a
basically
camera of like family
360p,
cameras, so.
Awful camera quality. But like looking back at some of the stuff, it was just like, I don't think I care to remember some of that stuff. It's just like kids just being like stupid or dickheads. Like obviously there's some good bits, but it's just like there is a value in not having all of that recorded. I think in terms of sometimes you'd leave it where it is, especially if like something was bad enough that you could drag it back up and ruin someone's career like 30 years down the line just because of something they may have said like when they were like 8.
I think that's just
but not all of us made racist manifestos in secondary school, Ross. Maybe you're worried about that.
It was a big hit at school.
I'm glad there's never evidence for that.
Yeah.
What I was going to say was, it's kind of good and bad that we don't have that information to us. However, it's also dangerous because you can look back on things with flawed memory and kind of erode the edges of the harsh times and only remember the good parts of something, which is actually a skewed memory of what actually happened. So it's like, they weren't that bad, were they? Or
that's kind
I
of the
don't
point of
remember
taking
doing
photos,
that
because you
crime.
want to remember a good thing, and that's half the time. Yeah, I don't remember doing that. Who films their own crimes? You know, I mean. But yeah, ultimately, yeah, you are storing that memory because you're like, I want to remember this. I want to see this again at some point. You know, when I filmed those fireworks, I want to watch that again because that was a great
Fireworks. Yeah,
I watch that back. You know,
4th
you
of
gotta
July.
love those ones. But in general, like, that's the reason you take it, because it is a good moment and that's what you want to remember. But yeah, I know what you mean in terms of it does cloud your memory of like, oh yeah, that really shitty thing happened that day as well, but I didn't take a photo.
I was just like, it's also just kind of sad sometimes because people, I think the further you get from school and college, the more you kind of misremember it as like the best days of your life and how free and amazing it was. And then I think if you had it fully catalogued, you'd remind yourself how dumb and stupid and idiotic a lot of the things you did and how trivial they kind of all were, because
that's just the balm of aging.
Yeah.
Like that, I know what you're saying. Rose tinted glasses, but the balm of aging there is to tell yourself that it was actually bad. You're doing just as much harm by presuming it was bad than good.
But like, I think it grounds it. It grounds it so it doesn't go either way. It doesn't become too bad. It's like, you guys, back when I was a kid, blah blah blah. You don't get that mentality. You also don't get the whole, oh, my life was so much better back then kind of thing.
Of course, you don't want to live in the past. There's no point reminiscing over things that you cannot change. Absolutely, I agree with that. I'm just saying it'd be nice to have the choice to look at those images again.
Images are different, I think,
I
because
understand.
It's not like a full video of exactly what happened. You're still utilizing your
No,
memory.
of course. I mean, yeah.
But it's just
it's
like
that Black Mirror episode.
Sometimes, I watch.
Where you could see recorder's memory.
Yeah, the Black Mirror. Yeah, the seed or whatever they called it. Very cool. Very interesting. Well shot, that one as well. That was a good looking episode.
Yeah.
No, I think I just would like to see images of photos and things like that. I don't think that's ever I don't think that right now. It's making it sound like a very sentimental thing. I don't care that much.
What would be really cool is based on that Black Mirror thing is like, finding a way to tap into the neurons that are formed there, but you just can't recall as correctly or as easily, and just enhance those moments. I feel like some sort of drugs do help with memory and stuff like that, but if we could really hone it down to like, I want to remember blah blah a bit more sharp. That
obviously Black Mirror
really
took
cool.
the, I guess, pessimistic, or kind of like showed the negative side of it in terms of I don't know what
drama.
was it, the cheating one where he plays it back, you get to play back the point where she cheated on him. Remember, that's like the first episode, isn't it? I think first one. Whereas like when I saw that episode, it blew my mind. I thought, oh my god, like that would be insane to have all that recorded.
It would change
a lot. Access it in someone's head, and it's just like, if someone else got hold of that, that's so much more powerful than what we have now, which is even still quite powerful in terms of data. But yeah, I mean, we've talked about
it was that
plenty of times before, but
character in Mass Effect that could just have full memory of everything. That's what it reminds me of.
Jarrus?
No. There was another character in like the third one maybe, but like their whole race was basically they remember absolutely everything and they can recall it as if they were there. Now that was super interesting. Their dialogue with humans and stuff like that. It was like, no, I know exactly what happened there. Blah blah. Thane. His name was Thane. That's interesting. They've played on that there, so I think Black Mirror stole it.
Nice one, Trott.
Maybe.
Good.
A bit of dialogue there, wasn't it? That's fucking solid.
We had a lot of other notes about UFOs and stuff as well, which would just, I don't know if we have time to go into all that stuff. Maybe we'll.
I've got to do a meeting. I've got to do a meeting in 15 minutes with.
Exactly. So I mean, we've
I'd
hit
love
the
to
hour
get
mark. There's
into
plenty
it.
of things we can talk about. So I mean,
That's Thane though. There.
There's
so
a
you
picture
know.
of Thane. He's a scaly boy.
He's quite cool.
Anyway.
But yeah,
I'd love to talk about UFOs more, but not today, unfortunately.
Yeah.
no, we'll save it for next time.
Got loads of hat
There's other
chats
things we didn't
that
talk
can
about. Because obviously I got a dog recently. Little
Yeah,
boy.
that's a big one.
Little
That's a
dog
big
called
boy.
Murphy. That's quite a big one. But we'll probably make a video on that, like when he's
We
had
could
all his
probably
jabs and stuff.
dedicate-
He had his first one
yeah.
done yesterday.
I
but we'll
reckon
talk
we
about
could
that
go-
later. He's still getting used to things.
I know we should
Go
probably
on.
discuss this outside of Hat Chat, but I feel like we're getting close to a point where we could probably start warehousing things, knowing that it's like the
Maybe,
1+ meter distance thing. I reckon we could
Yeah,
work some videos around that.
Well,
in the
we can
warehouse
certainly
space we got.
start looking at it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Exciting
Other note on here,
times
Smith
ahead.
got a haircut. That's a big one. That's a
That's
big
a
one we
big
didn't
boy.
talk about.
Yeah,
That's a big boy.
Fuck.
yeah.
Fucking hell. And I'll save all these news stories for next time because we're running out of time and all of these are just ridiculous.
Oh.
But yes, so thanks for tuning in today. We've hit the hour mark, and it's showing a little picture there if you want to see my little dog. He's a beagle, so he's got a voice on him, that's for sure.
I thought it was pronounced
He's
Biagle.
also very well behaved. Biagle.
Very cute.
And he's called
Mega
Murphy, and
cute.
he's just getting used to everything now. And he surprisingly went to the vet yesterday. He was perfect. He was just absolutely fine. I didn't even see her do the jab.
Until
like,
they
"Did you
have
do
a
it?"
bad
I was like, "Yeah."
experience
I was
there,
like, "Oh,
then
shit."
they're not gonna. So just make it a
know.
real positive experience for them, and it's fine.
Yeah, but we'll talk more about that next time.
Indeed. Thank you
Anything else to say? You
to
got thanks to the Fingal.
thank you to Octoberstan once again for making the Fingal. If you would like to send a Fingal to us, please do at our email, which is hatchat@hat-films.com. And then also, a even bigger thanks to our Patreon supporters who, whilst we do not have any sponsorship on this podcast, you Patreon people allow us to dedicate every other Friday to doing this Hat Chat and keep it going. So you all get credited at the end of the YouTube video. All our podcasts are put in video format on our YouTube channel, the Hat Chat Podcast. Just search for that because we're that popular, and I think our sub count allows us to look down upon others. So please head to that and check it out. And we will be back in a fortnight's time. Probably talk about dogs and shit. Literally dog shit.
Indeed, yeah. We've got
And
plenty
aliens.
of other things to talk about. And aliens.
And aliens.
Yeah.
Alien dogs. Amazing. So much to talk about. Anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.
Cheers, guys.
And we will see you in a fortnight. Bye, everybody.
Ta-ra!